go, round 5. This one's against Makar. We're both sitting 3-1. If you didn't see my round 4 game, it's on Xerxeth's channel. I'll put a link in the description here. I had the link in the description in my last video as well. I'm sorry that was a PO one. This one's not, clearly. And this one's pretty much for, this game is pretty much for peace of mind. The winner will pretty much be guaranteed a spot in the top 8. The loser has to win next round. So we both really want it. And crap, he's got obvious potential to psychic me, and I made the mistake of thinking he'd have Bolt Beam, so I go to Cresselia instead of Empoleon, and that turns out to be huge because although we both played each other in a practice game on before this one, I had not revealed my Cresselia before. Like, I had a Clefable on my practice team, and he might have changed up a bunch of stuff, but he has a Magnezone that I totally forgot about it, and going into Empoleon would have ruined my Empoleon right off the bat, and my Empoleon turns out to be very instrumental later on. So I missed a bunch of stuff. Cresselia takes the hits, which is what it's meant to do, and then it T-waved it just to force it out of there, and I T-waved again, but he had a Gastrodon. So Gastrodon is obviously wrecked by Tangrowth. I went for Sleep Header as he switched out, and it missed the Infernape. That would have been great to get a sleep, man. Like, that would have been crucial. That would have been huge. This is obviously his hardest hitter, and like having it out of the way would have been amazing, but unfortunately not the case. I have to go to Crest to take an Overheat, and revealing Overheat tells me that I can probably, I can hopefully take on the Infernape. Having Overheat means that if I can get him out of those before I run out of Moonlights, then like Crest beats it automatically. So that's great. That's great to know. Actually T-waved twice there, expecting his Gastrodon to switch out, but he stayed in, talked to me, meh, Pecha Berry, that's fine. I expected him to go to something to deal with Tangrowth, honestly, but he didn't, so now I'm going to go to Tangrowth, take a Surf, take a bit less than the first Surf, and I'm just going to go for a Leech Seed, because I don't want Sleep Powder to miss again. So this thing's in here, and I honestly expect it to sub, so I'm kind of afraid of going for Sleep Powder, but just in case, I'm going to go for Protect just to see if he's got Flash Cannon. That's what I was most afraid of that turn, and he does have it. So I got to switch. I don't really know where I want to go to because Empoleon is obviously stupid. Cresselia is obviously predictable, but I'm going to go do it anyway. So he obviously didn't predict it because he went into Infernape, and Infernape cannot deal with Cresselia. It's just going to fire off hits at me, and it can't do anything. So I just got a free Psychic on something. It hits the Magnezone for -0 damage. Meh, whatever. I'm actually faster than it, which I couldn't believe, so that tells me it's probably got a lot of bulk. I can't imagine what kind of set he'd have. Like, obviously I know, but at the time I couldn't imagine. Psychic does not a lot, and his T-Bolts do not a lot, so we're both kind of like at a stalemate. Both of us want to switch, but neither of us really want to get hit by anything. However, Cresselia is at half. It can't really deal with Infernape if it's at half, so it's got to Moonlight up. And in comes the Togekiss again. So this thing obviously has Mega Paraflinch hacks potential, so I definitely want to get it paralyzed first, and then we'll see where we can go from there. Again, I'm faster, so he's not running any speed on this thing, and that's just crucial to know. So that tells me it's a bulkier set. I know if it's going to be a flincher, it's going to be a Paraflincher, it's going to have T-Wave. So I'll go to Lucario with the intent to like take an Air Slash and then sub next turn or something. I also kind of expected Magnezone to come in to take the Wish, and I wanted to put pressure on it, and that kind of works out great. So he's got to switch. I know he's going to go to Starmie, but because I'm trapped, I can't predict that and go to something else, so I'm forced to close combat. It does disappointing amount, honestly, considering I might be, I'm Jolly, so I'm definitely not max attack nature, but it's still disappointing. I go to Empoleon now, which is a mistake. I shouldn't be in with Empoleon right now. I'm going to go for Surf against the Starmie. I figured, okay, Starmie can't do anything to me, lol. I totally forgot that the Magnezone is at full health. I can't 2-hit KO it. But I do get a very, very lucky crit, and hey, I'll take it. I need all the luck I can get against Makar because he's a good player. So I'll take it. He might not be happy about it, and I may not be proud of it, but I'm definitely happy that happened. So I managed to fire off another Surf. He would be slower than me, so he would have died if he stayed in. And he throws up a Wish as I go into Arrow. So interesting turn of prediction. I'm going to go for Stone Edge, expecting him to go back to Magnezone, hoping to kill it before it comes in. he's got to predict me going for Stealth Rocks so that he can bring it in. Without dying. However, he goes to Gastrodon, which is a good play. He wins that prediction. And I could have stayed in and gone for, what do you call it, Stealth Rocks or even Taunt. But I was expecting Surf, and I expected to die from it, honestly. That Toxic mixing my Tangrowth, although it doesn't appear to be very crucial, it turns out to be enormous later on. So, I Leech Seed up on the Togekiss. I'm expecting Air Slash, so I'm going to go to Arrow, and Arrow is just perfect for this Togekiss. I don't think it can really touch me. If it wants to T with me, I don't really care, because Arrow is typically just, like, it gets up rocks and it's fodder. And that's really it. So, here we're in the same situation as we were a few turns ago. I've got to predict him going to Magnezone, and he's got to predict me going for Stealth Rocks. I decided to go for Rocks that turn. He decided to protect. I win the prediction that time, and I get my Rocks up, and that is huge. So now he can't go into Magnezone without spinning first, and he does have a spinner, so he's just got to get it off. I went for Taunt. Not really sure what he wanted to do. Just Brennan throwing out more wishes, but he goes into Gastrodon. And as much as I want to go for Sky Attack, I'm just not confident it'll be able to kill or flinch, so I'm going to switch out of there, expecting it to die from Surf, so Tangrowth can handle it. And I just seed up on this Ape. So, like I said, I want to work him out of his moves because he's probably got Close Combat. So there's 2 moves that only have 8 PP. So I was very tempted to protect, but I don't know all of his moves. So I don't want him SDing or nasty plotting or anything because that would just be super, super bad. And he goes for Close Combat for some odd reason that wouldn't have killed Tangrowth if I decided to stay in. I guess maybe he could have predicted Empoleon? I don't know. Maybe he expected me to expect an Overheat to go to Empoleon, but I honestly don't know what his thought process was. So Cresselia's in there. He's obviously going to switch to something, and I call him on it. I go to my Arrow, which thankfully is faster than every single Starmie, no matter what. And I'm just going to burn my Sky Attack. If it wants to go to Magnezone, it'll die on switching. If he wants to go to this thing, it's going to take a huge hit. If he wanted to stay in, it was going to take a huge hit. So he just had nothing to go to. So unfortunately, his Gastrodon gets the gets the bottom of the barrel. It gets to take a big hit. However, I miss my Stone Edge, which kind of stinks because he gets a Surf off of my Arrow, which actually does a ton. I did a lot more than I expected, but my second Stone Edge hits, it goes down, and things could be worse. So I'm expecting Mach Punch or Vacuum Wave or some kind of priority from this guy. So I'm going to switch out into Cresselia, I believe. No, I go to Tangrowth, right. I decided that if something was going to die, I'd rather have it be Tangrowth, and I'd rather keep Arrow for later, because I figure he's got a lot of guys that can kill Tangrowth, and not a lot of guys that can kill Arrow. So I decided, Tangrowth, you're going to be fodder, and you're going to be great fodder. He Will-O-Wisp me, which tells me his last move, and tells me that he doesn't have a setup move. So that's incredibly crucial knowledge to have, because now I know he can't sit in an SD or a Nasty Plot or whatever. And I don't know why he didn't Overheat, but he didn't. I guess he was expecting me to switch. He didn't want to take Leech Seed damage. And I just went for a Suicide Leech Seed expecting to die. I'm expecting to die, and then I can go to like Lucario, or I can go to Kingdra, or I can go to Cresselia, I can go to something to deal with the Ape. But I get a Leech Seed on Starmie, I go for Protect. He Psychics, he's like, oh, I can kill you, lol, you're going to go to Crest. That's what he's thinking, but I'm just staying in here as fodder. He decides this is the time he wants to try and spin away the rocks. He wants to do that, but he hasn't seen my last move, and it is Giga Drain. So Giga Drain hits the Starmie, kills it, which is humongous. He gets away my rocks, and he saves his Magnezone in the process, but I don't really care. I kill his Starmie, which is a heavy hitter against my Cresselia. So that thing out of the way, it's totally huge. The Infernape comes back in, and this time he overheats properly. But he has to waste 2 overheats to kill me because I protected. So that saves Cresselia an extra Moonlight, and it's going to let me go into it right now, because if it's overheat, it's going to be -2. It's gonna do nothing to Cresselia. So that's where I'm gonna go next, and I'm just gonna fire off a Psychic. If he wants to go to Magnezone, it's gonna die to Psychic. If he wants to go to Togekiss, it's gonna take a lot. It's gonna take a neutral hit. It's gonna be fine, but it's gonna take a neutral hit. And now I'm going to go to Arrow because, like I said, his Togekiss cannot really touch Arrow. He's got too many things he needs to do. He wants to Air Slash, he wants to Heal Bell, and he wants to Wish Up. So he's just got too much stuff to do. I'm going to be able to get my rocks back up. I could have Stone Edge and maybe even taken it out. I don't know if I hit, that is. But then what? He goes to Zam, it speeds me, and Arrow's dead, and I don't get rocks up. So this way, the Magnezone is guaranteed to be dead. I went to my Empoleon, and I just set up an Iron Defense on the switch as he switched, and now I've got some insurance against the Infernape. So in comes the Togekiss again. I kind of want to Surf it just to try and kill it before it wishes and protects and does all that garbage. But I decided, nah, let's go for Iron Defense, see what happens. And I just want that extra defense in case the Infernape comes back in. And he would have protected this turn anyway, but so it's whatever. Now, however, I'm at +4, so the Infernape definitely can't OHKO me unless it gets a crit. And once I set up Aqua Ring, it doesn't matter how many times he flinches me, he's not going to be able to kill Empoleon with the Togekiss, that is. So now that I'm set up, I'm just going to try and finish setting up, get +6 defense, just guarantee that his Infernape cannot touch me at all, and then we'll see where we go from there. I'm not positive what his last is. In our practice battle, it was an Alakazam. That was actually kind of annoying to deal with if it was going to be his last Mon. But he's just continuously Air Slashing me. I eventually roar him out after I set up my extra defense, and I roar him into Infernape. I'm pretty sure he doesn't want to stick around, so Surfing would be kind of silly if I was planning on killing Infernape. But I'm planning on killing the Togekiss. It's going to take rocks, it's going to take Surf, and then it has to Wish. So I'm hoping that after all that damage, I'll be able to KO it, honestly, because it looks like Surf should be able to kill it. So I should be able to kill it while it wishes up, and then all he's got left is an Unknown and the Infernape. And the Ape can't touch me. Overheat's going to do more than close combat, honestly. But Surf doesn't quite kill. So he's going to be able to protect next turn. However, in the meantime, I'm just continuing to get more HP back myself, further guaranteeing that he's just got nothing to do. So he really needed his Magnezone to kill my Empoleon, and you know, that's just the way it was. So there were a few turns of hacks that went his way, like my Sleep Powder missing. There were also a few turns of hacks that went my way, like his Toxic missing turned out to be huge, because if Toxic hits, then he's not going to Will-O-Wisp me, and he's not going to let his Starmie die to Tangrowth when he could just kill it with Infernape. So a few things, yeah, like at the end of the day, things eventually went my way. And honestly, I think he could have, well, even if he last Monned his Zam, he set up +6 with Calm Mind, you know. I can just go to Cresselia, I can T-Wave it, I can go to Kingdra, I can Outrage it, and I can go to Lucario and Bullet Punch it. So I've still got a lot of stuff to do against it. It's just, yeah, he just had nothing. He just had nothing to do. So I managed to eventually kill the Infernape. His close combat did next to nothing to me, which is really, really hilarious. Even if he even landed one, I didn't even see it, honestly. But he's just wishing, protecting, and he's got nothing to do. And that's gonna be a good game, Makar. So I'm pretty much guaranteed a slot in the top 8 with that. I'm gonna fight somebody else in round 6. I'll keep it a secret. He knows who he is, and yeah, I'm just gonna put my music up to this because it's just a slow sweep of Empoleon, and good game, Makar. It was a ton of fun. You know, you got a lot of we had a lot of hacks go either way. So moving on to the final round, the final battle in the first round, the sixth battle. We shall see how it goes. I will see you all next time.
Bye.